computer. Hi, Silas.
Hi, Laurie. How are you?
I'm good. Good. A little tired of this heat thing that's going on, but I'm pretty good.
Yeah, it's draining. It's
It
draining,
is.
to say the least. Yeah.
Yeah. So how are you? And how was your holiday? You just came back, right?
Yes, yes. I got back on Monday evening. The holiday was amazing. I mean, the
Mm,
Lake District is such a beautiful place. Um, Lots of walking. Lots of it kind of really amazed me how much green is, well, my wall here, the whole room is green, how much green is important to us. you know
mm,
I felt a massive change in mood as soon as I came back to London,
mm.
and went into our garden, and everything looked brown and bare,
Hmm.
and it suffered a little bit from the heat, but actually what I realized is that the Lake District is so lush.
Yeah.
It's so green that it has this extraordinary effect on you. And when you don't see that much green, you realize, just how kind of nurturing it is.
Yeah.
It was beautiful, and lots of walking. I mean, the Lake District's an amazing landscape because this landscape just keeps pulling you forward.
Mm.
You get over one mountain, you think, I'm done, I've got to go back home, and then you see another mountain, you go, but before I do, I've just got to get over that peak there. And it just keeps pulling you forward.
Yeah.
So you end up doing, walks that are kind of 6 to 8 hours long and hard. And
Yeah.
it was amazing. It was beautiful. I feel very rested and ready to kind of move forward.
So helpful to have those times out, isn't it?
Yeah, really.
So it was really enriching and fulfilling sounding, and that always reminds me of values. I'm just wondering, what of your values were honored on that trip?
Well, I mean, aesthetics,
Yeah.
very much so. Under aesthetics, the foundational value, I've got beauty, nature, art, and style.
Yeah.
Beauty and nature, is everywhere,
Yeah.
absolutely everywhere. And also, I think, connection,
Hmm.
kind of not just connecting with nature, but reconnecting with myself. I think when you live in a city, and you kind of working hard, you can lose touch with yourself,
Yeah.
and you don't even realize you're doing that. So,
And you'd been quite busy before you left.
I have been very busy doing various different things. So it was really good to connect with me. So those values are very strong. It was quite interesting because, I talked before about trees and wood,
Yes. Right.
connection to them.
Right.
And I was reading two books. I finished one book and then started another. The one that I finished is called Wilding, about this extraordinary project. Two farmers, man and wife, who have rewilded an enormous piece of land down in Sussex.
Oh.
And the book is all about getting nature back to what nature wants to do,
Mm.
rather than trying to control it. And, the kind of extraordinary burst of life
Mm.
that happens when an ecosystem can re-find itself.
Mm.
And the other book is called The Hidden Life of Trees.
Uh-huh.
And it's all about how trees communicate with each other and keep each other alive. And, this amazing thing that a tree isn't just a solitary figure.
Yeah.
It's very connected by its roots, and these kind of mycorrhizal fungi throughout the ground, that they keep each other alive, and they're a whole community.
Yes.
So reading both of those books, really, it touched something very deep inside of me
Mm.
about, how nature works. And it has a reflection upon how we work as human beings, or at least how perhaps we don't work and we ought to be,
Yeah.
getting away from our nature. So all of that really reconnected me with my values. It was very, very grounding. Yeah, really grounding.
Literally.
Yeah, literally.
Like putting your roots in the ground. And
Yeah, exactly. And it kind of, it also, I connected with creativity, because I connected a lot with where I want to go and what I want to do, but also like how to go about that. Something that came up for me, which is at the moment a bit of a fluffy thought, but something that came up for me is moving forward in a way that suits me best, finding my nature of how to move forward, connecting with what's real inside of me.
So I'm reminded of the first book you talked about, the Wilding.
Yeah.
Wilding. Sorry, I was referring to wildlings. Different topic. Wilding, like you're wanting your wilding, like who am I in my nature, and if I were to reconnect with my ecosystem. That's kind of what I'm hearing you say.
Yes, very much so. Yeah, very much so. How do I operate? And how can I move forward from that place, as opposed to, again, we talked about this last time that we met, leaning towards I should be doing this, I should be doing that, which very much has to do with some kind of outside influence. I should be like that person. I should be more moving forward in this way. If it's not connected to who you actually are, it doesn't work.
I picture a tree having its roots and all, and then there's these shoulds that try to pull it out and pull it different ways and reform it in an unnatural shape.
Yeah. There's an amazing thing that I read about. Quite often you see trees that are kind of bent, curved. What's actually happened is that snow has come down the side of a hill and hit the sapling, and the sapling leans, and it's not strong enough to resist. But it always wants to go vertically.
Right.
So it grows up vertically, and the snow makes it lean again, or rainfall, or landslide,
or wind, or something.
It always wants to kind of come back. So eventually, the trunk is strong enough for it to resist that.
Right.
So you get this curve where the trunk finally finds its way up.
Resilience.
There's resilience in it, but it's also, you always want to get back to what you are. He's trying to push you away from what you are, but if you stay with it and keep, building the strength, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter that you're a bit bent.
Yeah,
you'll find your way up.
Consistent with your nature, right? It's about having your nature.
Yeah.
Allowing your nature.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Beautiful.
So, it really, the whole trip really connected me with my values. And there's a much bigger picture thing, which is that it made me realize I've been talking about wanting to move to the countryside for a long time. And now it feels like it's a must. When it will happen, is dependent upon a lot of things, but now it feels like it's a must rather than a want. At some point I must move to the countryside because that's where I am most connected to my values.
You had talked earlier about moving to someplace in Italy, having your studio and.
Yeah. Yes, and actually that kind of that brings me around to what I kind of wanted, what this session to be about, which is about creating the vision, the bigger picture vision.
Okay.
And then from that, trying to make some what's the word I'm looking for? To create some accountability around structure. Okay.
Around structure, around creating your vision.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just so that I've got a kind of, a structure to move forward with.
Yeah.
I think what I need to do is reconnect with that vision.
Nice.
Of where am I going with this and how do I want this to be in the future?
Great.
So, when I talked about the place in Italy, I mean, that's kind of a dream, I don't know that it will be Italy because the world has changed now, and after Brexit I can't just go and live in another country, but also I don't speak Italian, so but Italy represents, or a house in a mountain in Italy represents where I want to be. That could be somewhere like the Lake District, it could be Wales, somewhere that's like that, but closer to home because of politics, geopolitics.
Yes. So happy to go in the direction of vision. Can I just check with you as a follow-up from last time?
Yeah.
You were working with those voices.
Yeah.
Stig and Bobby and Italo.
Italo, yeah.
If I'm saying that right.
Yes.
And you were going to play with them in the studio and perhaps give them voices. Can you just tell me what happened with that?
Yeah, I didn't get around to playing with those voices in the studio. Other things got on top of me, and I was quite busy before I went away. So I didn't get around to playing with those voices, but that they have been in my mind. It was amazing to categorize those voices and give them names, you know, to recognize that they're inside of me all of the time. So when I was away, it was really interesting. Rather than me just, you know, fighting with my own head, as it were, suddenly when I watched myself having various thoughts, I could put them into these characters. So I would go, oh, there's Stig. That's Stig chatting to me. Now I need to have a word with Italo. So you just pipe down for a minute. What have you got to say? And that became, it was amazing actually, just, you know, how effective it is to do that, to name things and to give them characters. So they feel like they're outside of you, even though you know that these voices are generated by yourself. So I had quite a few conversations, you know, and I had quite a few conversations with Italo.
Okay.
And, you know, just kind of turning to him and saying, you know, where am I going with this? How can I sort this out? You know, so I didn't get around to playing with those voices, but the sheer, you know, the mere fact that we had categorized them, characterized them, allowed me to listen to the voices in my head a lot more and pull myself in the direction of where I want to go, as opposed to being dragged down a route I didn't want to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it was very, very powerful actually. Yeah.
So as we move forward in all our conversations, let's keep them in mind, especially with Italo, because he's the one who's got the wisdom, and right, and just make sure that Stig and Bobby aren't having too much should stuff going on. I'm just checking my notes from last time.
Yeah.
But Bobby also has wisdom, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Young wisdom in youth is how I've
yeah.
that, and it's Stig who has that treacly should stuff going on. Okay. We'll just watch out for his voice and into the others for work, especially around vision. Yeah. So that's where you want to go today. Okay. Good. Wow, there's so many threads we've got, values and these voices, and now we're looking at vision. That's exciting. Tell me, so I'm just getting my head around a visioning exercise that we can do. I don't have it in my head yet. But I think what I'd like to do is capture some sort of metaphorical elements of your vision.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
And we'll stay metaphorical and sort of in that feeling space. You work really well in that feeling space, as opposed to trying to go, well, there's going to be this, and you know, we're going to have a kitchen like that, you know. Things
that would be great, actually. Yeah.
Okay. So, and let's do a visualization on this.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah. And just so you know, I kind of make it up as I go along. So be in the role with me if that's all right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. So visualize. So sit in a way that's comfortable. With your spine sort of upright, but not stiff, you know, in a way that your body will hold yourself up so you don't have to effort to sit. Feet on the floor if you can. And hands in your lap, just relax. And close your eyes and just let yourself be with you. Take a big, deep breath in. And exhale. Exhale fully, like pushing all the air out of your lungs. Lungs go from hips to shoulders, so all the air out. And another big breath in. And our purpose here is just to let you relax and let go of any stressful chemicals running around. And so exhale and exhale out any tension. And let your breathing come to a sort of deeper, normal pace. And we're just going to do a quick body scan just to make sure that everything's relaxed. So starting with your head, it's like a wave of relaxation moving through you, letting your scalp even relax, and your whole mind and brain and your face and your jaw. It's a great place to relax, is just making sure your jaw is loose and your face relaxed, and your neck and shoulders. Feel free to move if you want to just break up anything going on in your shoulders and neck. And send relaxation down your whole, yeah, great. Send relaxation down your whole body, your core, your back and your belly. And keep your deep breathing going. Send relaxation all the way down your arms. And through the rest of your body, from your hips all the way down your legs, through your knees, all those strong leg muscles, through your calves and your feet. Make sure your feet and your hands are in a relaxed state. And now find your way to the place you would call your center. Place of wisdom, where answers reside and ideas, where you're tapped into your creativity and your knowing. And I'm just going to toss out a few questions, and I invite you to just allow answers to show up. Don't try to control them. Even if you don't understand them, it's okay. Just notice what answers show up, and then we'll talk about them when we finish the visualization. So if we're looking at your future vision and creating that, where you're going. So first of all, I want to ask, what are the feeling senses you have? So you might imagine yourself in this future place that you don't have to define what it is. Imagine yourself there. What are the feelings that you have in that place? What are the things that excite you?
The first word that comes up is calm.
Okay.
There's a lot of calmness here.
Okay.
And there's something around time being slow but very full.
Okay.
So things kind of moving slowly but fully and purposefully.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. And tapping back into your center. Describe the colors. Not the color, not literally, like the feelings.
Yeah.
Can create colors, like metaphorically. What are some colors that represent this vision?
I'm seeing a lot of green and blue and red. And they're sort of, they're all there in equal measure. Kind of like a swell. But they're not merging, they're just very clearly there.
Okay. And as you focus on those colors, are there other feelings that show up?
I can't quite describe what this is, but it's a feeling of, it's kind of like a feeling of deep presence.
Okay.
A feeling of like time no longer exists. I kind of feel like time as a measurement doesn't exist any longer. Like every moment is really full and present.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And now I'm going to ask you some more specific questions, but don't get too hard focused on them. Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like imagine that you're in a space, and I just want to hear about a couple of sort of vaguely specific things that are in that space. We're kind of, I think you know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
what shows up in this space? Just they don't have to be well defined.
I got a very broad horizon.
Okay.
So it kind of feels like I'm quite high up.
Okay.
And I can see quite far. And there are animals.
Okay.
A lot of animals. I'm not exactly sure which ones they are.
Okay.
But I feel like there's a lot of animals.
Mm-hmm.
And I can see a fence, a kind of low fence. But I'm very high up.
Mm-hmm.
And I can see a long, 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 long way.
Okay. Great. Good. And one more question, a sort of a broad basket question. What else are you aware of that's important to be a part, that's importantly a part of your vision? Just anything is sort of what else do you want to, this wisdom part of you, what does it want you to be aware of?
These two words just come up: peace and stillness.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all for now. Those are the words that just come up.
Okay. I said that was the last question, but I am going to add one more.
Yeah.
Just to throw in the mix. And I want you to feel the word when I say it, and just tell me what happens.
Yeah.
Work.
Play.
Okay. Let's keep going with this. This is great.
Yeah.
Studio.
Barn.
Audiobooks.
Library.
Clients.
Vast.
Recreation.
Sleep.
Family.
Gathering.
Friends.
Animals.
Self-care.
Rest.
And what else wants to be spoken?
Air.
Air.
Yeah.
Great. I'm about to bring you back so that we can talk about these things, but just one last check. Is there anything else that wants to be touched on?
The word hope is coming up.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'll leave it at that for now. Just hope.
Okay. So I've captured the words. You don't need to worry about them.
Yeah.
I just want you to sort of add like a swirl of all these things, the colors of green, blue, red, the feelings of calm, slowful, purposefully, animals, fence, peace and stillness. Bring them all together and bring them so that you can bring them back with you. And get back in touch with your body, move your toes and fingers. And take a breath. Deep breath. And when you're ready, come back, open your eyes. How was that?
I can hear a crow.
Yes, there's crows outside my window.
Well, I think that's
Wondering the impact of that.
I bet it's amazing. That was very powerful, very surprising, actually.
What was surprising?
The thing that surprised me, first of all, I just really went where the vision wanted to take me. And the first thing that surprised me was that my center is not where I thought it was.
Okay.
It's actually like deep in my pelvis.
Okay.
As opposed to where I thought it might be, which is around the heart, or, you know, so that feels very, very kind of like there's a base root there. That quite surprised me that it was there. So I connected to that and just listened to the words that wanted to come up. So at times they felt a little random, but I didn't want to go into them any more than just say them.
Yeah, great.
But I feel already like very, very peaceful, very grounded. Yeah.
Great. So I realized that when you said you wanted to create a vision, I made some assumptions about what that meant. So we've got a lot of words, and I'm happy to share back with you the words that you said. But as we and they're metaphorical, and I know that they, whichever way you want to go with vision, they're going to help you move towards that. But before I drive a conversation in a direction you don't want to go, tell me what you want out of the vision. Like, is it a picture of where you're going, the place you're like that? Or?
Yeah. So I think what's been happening, because I've been busy and I've also been away on holiday, it almost feels as though those are distractions that are coming in and taking me away from the movement of creating this home studio and finding, you know, more voiceover work. And they're not really distractions. They're things that need to happen, and they're things that are here right now in this extraordinary situation that are actually supporting me. But I feel sometimes I'm kind of slipping away from what it is that I want to do with a home studio.
Okay.
So I kind of wanted to create a vision, a much bigger vision that can pull me forward. So if I have weeks like, say, this week, I wasn't able to apply myself fully to my homework, you know, to say that's okay because you're moving towards this vision.
Right.
Rather than kind of go, oh no, it's all stopping, I'm halting, I'm faltering. To have this vision that pulls me forward, you know, the big vision that makes it okay for each step along the way to be found or be tripped over.
Right. Okay. So if we end this visioning conversation, and which might take a couple of sessions, who knows? It's big picture vision. The elements that you'll have in it are what? Where you live? What's going to be in the vision?
Where I live and the kind of work that I'm doing to support where I live.
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
And it will include a home studio and voiceover work.
Yes, exactly. I mean, I have this dream of moving to the countryside. You know, it's been inside me for all of my life, actually. But I have attachments to the city. And those attachments have changed. And the current situation is changing a lot. And it feels like it will be a really big move. You know, I have to sell a house and find somewhere else, but also it's a complete change of lifestyle. And that will mean, you know, changes in the way in which I approach my career and so on and so forth. But one thing I do know is that if I can have a home studio and I can be getting regular voiceover work, narrative work, then that is something that can always be there in the background as a kind of support structure and keep me connected to what it is that I already do. You know, so I realized when I was away, you know, in the Lake District, that, as I said, making that move is becoming much more of a must than a want.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like this must happen in my life. But, you know, it's not something I can rush into. There are lots of elements that me and my partner need to kind of sort out and research. But, you know, there is something about having a studio there that I can work from virtually and generate this kind of work that I think will be a really, really good foundation that will keep me safe, first of all, but also it could really propel me forward.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
So really fixing, like getting in your studio, doing the work now starts your track record.
Yes.
You're building your reputation.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then once that's solid, then you can just transplant yourself. Nobody has to know the difference, right? Any of your clients or customers, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, you know, kind of, I think what I really wanted to do was, you know, to create that vision so that this here has a purpose.
Right.
You know, and that there are steps along the way that I can start to look at and go, right, tick that step off, tick that step off.
Great.
You know, so that it's moving towards something. There's a linear reason.
Okay. Good. So having that in mind, that you want to create the picture of the place you're going to live and work.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there'll be some kind of timeline associated with which we can put a timeline on there if you want to or not. But in this more cognitive place, I'm going to read back all of the words that I corrected with.
I'm going to write these down. Yeah.
Okay. Let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So the feelings are about calm, or the feelings are calm, time, which moves slowly and full. You had both those words associated with time. And then purposefully.
Yeah.
And then I asked about colors.
Yeah.
I always find colors create other emotions and lead to other, who knows what things. And you had green, blue, and red in equal measure.
Yeah.
And then I asked about what kind of feelings did those bring you? And you said deep presence.
Yeah.
And you said something about a swell, but they're not merging. And also with the feelings, there was deep presence, time no longer exists, fully present.
Yeah.
When I asked about details, you said there's a broad horizon. You're high up and you can see far.
Yeah.
There are animals, a lot of animals, not sure what type. And you repeated, I can see a long way. And there's a low fence.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then I don't remember the question I asked, but the answer was peace and stillness. I think I was starting to close the first time. And thank you for, by the way, for letting me make that up as I went along. And
no,
felt like you were just rolling with it. So appreciate that. I think I was saying bring it all together, and as it all comes together, what is it that you see or recognize? And I think that's what you said. Peace
that's what it was. Yeah.
Peace and stillness.
Yeah.
And then I got inspired for other things to ask you.
Yeah.
And we had the I share a word, you share a word. And so I'm going to share those pairs with you.
Yes, great.
So work, I said work, you said play.
Yeah.
I said studio, you said barn. Audiobooks, library. clients, you said vast. Recreation, you said sleep. Family, gathering. Friends, you said animals. Self-care, you said rest. There's definitely the Lake District in your holiday showing up.
Yeah.
And then I asked for final words and you said air and hope.
Yeah.
So I think of those as like elements, metaphorical elements, literal elements. Maybe the animals are literal, maybe they're metaphoric, but they all somehow, it's your, some feelings and subconscious things contributing to this vision. So given all of that as building blocks and pieces, what are you aware of? How do we start building this vision?
It's really interesting because not only is that a kind of a physical vision of where I want to go, it's also a metaphorical vision of where I want to go. The thing of air was really strong. That word just came up and I wasn't quite sure at the time what it meant. But there's something about having a lot of air around this, that actually, and having hope and having belief. And this, again, this is the word, this is the voice of Italo coming in. Like, you're going to get there. It's okay. This thing that comes into my mind, years ago, I remember reading about a woman who, I can't remember who she was now exactly, but her husband was a writer. And she spent all of her life kind of supporting him, as a writer, being a housewife and an emotional support and a secretary. And then when he died, she was 83 years old and she suddenly decided that she wanted to write. And she ended up writing, I think, 3 or 4 novels before she died, and they were very successful. And there's something about, what struck me about that is, you don't have to be young to do stuff. You don't have to get stuff done now. It can happen. It can happen at any time in your life. And I find that very inspiring and also relaxing. Yeah. Because I tend to get myself stuck in, you've got to do this now. It's got to happen now. And actually, this whole audiobook home studio project is very, very new and very nascent. But I'm already getting into that mindset of like, you haven't done enough. You haven't moved forward fast enough.
Right.
Which can trip me up because I can, I know myself. I can kind of walk away from things when I get overwhelmed in that way. Last time we worked on overwhelm, and Italo said, it's okay, you'll get there.
Yeah.
So, that kind of vision of having air around it. I do know that when I give things air in my life and I allow myself to take things, gradually, bit by bit, step by step, suddenly they just arrive. And I can look back and go, oh, wow, that's in my life now. And I didn't think it ever would be. So that thing of giving it air, there's something in that about the more air I give it, the more it's likely to move forward.
Great.
In a kind of, it's not a contradictory thing. It's just a metaphor. So it was also really interesting to me that I could see this. It was almost like I was on a plane, but very high up. The horizon was really broad and there was this low fence, but I was high up above things. So there's a kind of breadth to the horizon and to the project. And just, lifting my head above it and being able to see where I'm going to, if all of that makes sense.
Beautiful. This also reminds me of mastery in the making and that whole conversation we had about that. It doesn't happen now. It's a process. It's a journey.
Yes. Yeah. So it kind of, it just feels like that actually is gonna help me moving forward, Yeah. And carry on. Sorry, you're going to say something.
I had just a thought show up
Yeah.
And I'm just going to share that. And if it takes us off track, you can just like we send it out the window. I'm wondering, and I'm partly wondering why I never asked you this before. You played lots of characters as an actor.
Yeah.
And I don't even know that much about acting, but I do know there's some approaches to acting where you get in and you find the character in you.
Mm.
And I know some actors get sort of stuck in characters. They get to know characters and things like that. So my question is what characters have you played? Have you stepped into that might have some wisdom for you?
Mm. Wow. What a question. The character that jumps out straight away is a character called Bullimore. He was based on a real person. He was the butler to John Paul Getty,
Okay.
and I was in a series called Trust about the Getty family,
Okay.
and I played Bullimore, and it was something, you know, something about him that I don't know why he jumps into my mind. Because he's a butler, it's very, very specific and incredibly patient. I mean, he was dealing with a man, he was serving a man, you know, John Paul Getty, who could be unbelievably rude to him, to Bullimore, and you know, unbelievably unkind. And yet somehow Bullimore was very attached to the old man.
Mm.
Even though he found him incredibly difficult, there was a kind of a deep love for him, probably almost a sympathy for him. You know, so he was very measured and very specific, and he did everything just so. And there was a kind of a structure to the way in which he operated. So what is the wisdom that comes from him? Wisdom, I think, is just about, it's about regular structure. Be structured, is what he's saying.
Mm. I'm hearing so clearly in there service.
Service, yeah, yes.
There's a service, there's a dedication, commitment, service, even to a thing that's not nice.
Yeah.
Violation of your value of kindness, in fact.
Yes, yeah.
The world may be unkind or something. There's still like a commitment to this craziness.
Yeah.
I don't want to put,
yeah, it's kind of interesting because I think deep down inside, Bullimore was an extremely kind man. He was dealing with somebody who's very unkind.
Yeah, he was kind, but he was still in service of something that was not.
Yeah, but I think he saw beyond this unkindness, rudeness. He actually saw a man who was deeply unhappy and struggling. And I think just giving him that structure in his life, you know, Bullimore knew that he was giving the old man a lifeline, even if the old man couldn't see it. You know, so yeah, there was, but yeah, there was something about the succinctness, you know, in the way in which he operated that is coming through here. You know?
And so, how will that? Again, it was a random question. Just occurred to me.
Wow, brilliant, though.
Amazing things show up, you know, and out of strange things. So how will that energy, Bullimore's energy, the regular structure, the commitment, all those things, how will that serve you in your developing your vision?
What's really coming to mind is, you know, I talked before about setting aside a time, setting aside Monday afternoons to kind of work on this work. But I think actually what I really need to do is just expand that time a little bit and be not rigid with the structure. Rigid somehow becomes a judgmental word, but to be true to that structure. So I think what I want to do is make the whole of every Monday the day that I work on this project, you know, so that I clear away everything else, and Monday's the untouchable day that becomes this project, so that I know every week that I've got a place to go to where and before I get into that Monday, I think what's really going to help me is to structure, what do I want to get out of today? Am I going to do some recording? Am I going to do some reading? Am I going to create content for the websites that I want to go on? Whatever it is I want to do, keep that Monday and stick to that and do those things each Monday and have some accountability around that.
Great.
So that there's a regular kind of structured, purposeful, you know, island each week.
Great. And we had just agreed earlier to have conversations on Tuesday morning.
Yeah.
We can check in on that every Tuesday morning.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That would be great to kind of to do these sessions on a Tuesday morning, so that I have that to check into.
Great. So we've got a lot of strands here, and what I'd like to do, because I know, given air, and moving forward, like, you don't have to, you know, put it in. So, I want to invite you to take those strands. You've written down the words. You've got the air. You've got fully more. You've got all these, and will you put it together and create the vision, the type of vision that you wanted, you know, the structure of the vision and the way you wanted it.
Yeah.
As homework.
Yeah, great. I'm just writing this down. Yeah, brilliant. Great.
And I don't know if you want to, I mean, you could draw that, you could, you know, with an artistry piece, or build something, or you could record something, or you could, you know, or it's words. Yeah. Whatever it is. I don't know.
Whatever it is, it'll pop up, I think. But I'm going to take this page away. This has been incredibly useful. I'm going to take this page away and play around with it during the week, and then see what comes up in terms of, you know, a kind of nailing this structure.
Yeah. Great.
That was really powerful. That was a really amazing visualization, actually.
Good.
It was really interesting to just let myself go into that space, that central space, and see what comes up.
And you found, sorry, go ahead.
I think a lot of it is still kind of, because it's very feeling, still swirling around. So I think it'd be really good to just sit with this and keep playing with it and see what those feelings are, and how I can, you know, pull them down into a structure, understand them.
Yeah. And you'll always have these feelings in air. Sounds like it was a really big part of that.
Yeah.
As the feeling sense of, here's my vision, and you can always say, am I moving towards it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I have this picture that you'll come up with a vision, and you'll have a house will be a part of it, and the house will have some really cool name.
Yes. Yeah. I really liked that when you said studio and the word barn came out of me. Just seeing this studio in a barn, you know, somehow that's really exciting to me. Yeah.
Nice. So it isn't even a studio in your house. It's in an extra building on the land.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I didn't say, as we were going through it, I was like, why didn't I ask voiceover in that? I said audiobooks. Why did I say voiceover? I don't know.
Well, yeah, that's okay. It's all connected, you know, that's.
Yeah. And it sounds like you found a new center.
Yeah, that was really surprising.
I remember asking, I think saying something like, in your center, wherever that is for you.
Yeah.
And I know sometimes we say center and people actually go, my center of my body is like in my belly.
Yeah.
But when you open it up and say wherever that is for you, the limitation of where center is can be taken off. So it allowed another one to show up.
Yeah.
I think.
It was very surprising. It's very it's much lower down in the body. You know what? It reminds me of something actually. Years and years ago, when I was a school kid, I was an athlete, and I used to do 800-meter hurdles. And Sebastian Coe, broke the world record twice. And the reason, it was quite a short man for somebody who's a runner. He was an 800-meter runner. What he did was he lowered his center of gravity. He used to have very long strides, and his center of gravity was very low to the ground. And it's a technique that a lot of runners adopted. And it reminded, suddenly that's just come up into my mind, that, as I was running, I would drop my center of gravity, go really, really low with the pelvis, and it kind of, it centers you more. And that's what's just come up for me. It's very surprising that it's so low down in the body, that center.
Yeah.
Very, very, very grounding thing. So it propels you.
Yeah.
Propels you forward.
Yeah. Keeps you stable.
Yeah.
So will you check back in with your center as
Totally.
a place of wisdom as you start creating this vision and pulling it together?
Yeah.
Just let that wisdom from there come.
Yeah, definitely. That's great, Laurie. Thank you. There's a lot to go away and play with and think about.
Yeah, great. Okay, thanks.
Thank you so much.
We'll stop for now.
Great. See you next week.
See you next week.